decided to talk about something that I kind of briefly mentioned last week, but as like maybe a thing I would do. It's something I kind of, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I really wanted to talk about it. I kind of didn't really want to do a college rambling video this week, but that'll probably be out next week because I need to do one of those. But yeah, so in case you didn't bother to read my title screen or the title of the video, I'm going to talk to you guys kind of about my history with video gaming. Kind of feel like this is something I really want to talk about just because I feel like I just want people to know, because I kind of go into a lot of different chats, streams, LP videos, and really even on Twitter, and it's kind of like, who knows, you know, you never really know someone's history, and so I give to you my history. So I guess my first real experience with video games was PC gaming, back when CDs were a thing, like PC CD games. And I played, like, we kind of did some of the downloadable ones too, but I think the ones I really remember would be like Putt-Putt, and like the Backyard Sports and just the EA Sports. Specifically Backyard Soccer, and baseball really. But Backyard Soccer, at one point I thought I was really, really good because I like managed to get through like a whole set of games, and I think I was pretty decent actually. And I'd started on like the next month of the schedule. And actually then that's when our game/computer crashed. I think it was like the game stopped working or the computer didn't like to play the game, something like that. And I was actually really sad because I thought I was really good at it. I'd gotten really far on it, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, you know? But then that happened and I was sad, and I've never actually been able to get it, because you know, you can't get a disc like that to run on like a Windows 7 computer. It doesn't work too well. But then also, Backyard Baseball. My dad actually, like we were a fan of, like, we would sit and play that a lot. Like, with my dad would sit and play with us, my brother and I. So, I kind of like, I really like, that one's kind of another one that really stands out. But yeah, those was really my first experience. Also, my first little handheld experience. My dad used to have like an original Game Boy where my brother and I would play Mario, and I was so bad at it. I would almost always die at like the first Goomba. I was so bad. I actually wish I could go back and play it just to see if I've gotten any better. But he actually no longer has that because he accidentally left it on his car one day and he drove away. I can tell that didn't go over too well, but yeah, that's really my first experience. The next handheld I owned, the first that was actually mine, my first personal handheld, was the Game Boy Advance Color. I had a pink one. I think my parents and my grandparents, I think my grandparents gave my brother and I one for Christmas one year, when we were really little. And the game that I specifically remember, and I might have owned more games, but I don't think I owned a ton of like GBA games. But the one I specifically remember is, and I don't know the name of it, but it is like a Barbie game. It was a Barbie game. I remember that much. And I think you were like trying to, like you were a vet or something? It was something weird like that, and I kind of remember really, really liking that one. The first console that we actually owned that wasn't a PC was the GameCube. A lot of you guys know that I'm 17, so I was born in 1996, but we actually never owned an N64. I knew two different people who owned N64s. I don't remember really if we played much with the one friend, but with my other friend I remember like playing a little bit of like Super Mario 64 and just not understanding what I needed to do. Like, we didn't really understand what was going on. We always would die, and you know, that kind of little kind of kid stuff, like, you know, that kind of thing. But that's the one thing I do remember. But with the GameCube, there's one game that I really remember, and I know I had multiple games, but this is just the there's two games that really, really stand out to me. The first one is Super Mario Sunshine, which is the first game we ever owned for the N64, and that was actually really cool. I was terrible at it, as you would probably expect. I was really bad because I couldn't like I couldn't kill the little if you guys know, like the little plant goop things. But like my brother and my dad were really good, so I'd always copy their files and try to play because I loved Peanut Park, but I couldn't unlock it all like myself. But I really, really loved Peanut Park. and I would get frustrated like if I couldn't do a mission there or something. So that's just one of the games that I have like really early fond memories of. The other one is Animal Crossing. We actually owned the original Animal Crossing, and my brother and I were really like, we would save, but like we'd also like reset a lot and that kind of thing. So Mr. Rossetti would just always come up, and a lot of people say that he's like really scary and like, you know, all that. I remember him being like scary, like he kind of scared me, but I'm not traumatized by Mr. Rossetti. I kind of like, I'm actually kind of like have been in a constant debate with myself. Do I really want to put in the effort for the, like, do I really want to build the reset center? And I kind of do, but I also don't. It's a lot of it's the whole, do I really want to raise the bells for it? So, but that's kind of one of the things I remember. And I remember like, you know, I was always gonna get bored because I never wanted to just sit and fish or just sit and bug catch. Like I wanted to do stuff for my neighbors all the time. I constantly talked to my neighbors and would like run around like looking for missions and stuff. But that's kind of the one thing, because I never really read the text. I wasn't much of a text reader as a child. Kind of regret that now, but that's just one of the games that I really specifically remember. So next console, the next handheld I owned was the Nintendo DS. And I believe there is the one game that really kind of stands out is Cooking Mama. That was my game as a child. Like I was a huge Cooking Mama fan because at the time I was really big into cooking, and so I loved it. I loved it so much. And so yeah, that was really neat, and I actually really enjoyed that. And like I mean, that's one of the games that really stands out. But we also own some other games, more than this, I think. At least in our lifetime, I think these are just the ones that I happen to find. We were big trade and buy used games. People kind of trade them in and buy used games. So like we've got like a crossword game. If you guys remember like those cooking, like those personal trainer videos, I have like the cooking one for it because I was huge into cooking. Also, and this is actually one that I'm working, that I'm actually trying to complete on my 3DS now. The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. That was a game my dad played. Actually, he had the special edition one, the special edition Zelda 3DS, which was really neat. But do you guys remember the old the computer game Cake Mania? We owned that one for the DS. Harvest Moon, which was, I think, was a lot of fun. And actually might, if the game is in here, which it's not surprising, I might actually, if I can hunt down the game, I might actually get that one and play that one on again. Thrillville, which is actually, I linked to a friend and then never got back, but that's okay. Which is kind of fun. I actually think I also owned the computer version at one point. Roller Coaster Tycoon is actually another one of the computer games, now that I think about it, that my dad, my brother, and I always really played. Like, I just loved it. Like, I loved taking a regular, like a pre-built park and adding my own stuff to it, that kind of thing. But I kind of actually, I bought it recently from the Steam sale, so I'll probably end up downloading that at some point and whipping it back out just for old funsies' sake. And actually, another game I found, which I actually didn't realize I owned, it wasn't until I was going through that Stack Games, I actually owned Animal Crossing Wild World. This pretty much means that I've owned every Animal Crossing game except City Folk. City Folk is the only Animal Crossing game I've ever not owned. And I actually don't remember too much about Wild World. In fact, I actually forgot I had it. And I'm really sad because the cartridge isn't in there. Which I think I'm going to make a point to hunt down at some point. But yeah, those are the DS games I really owned as a kid. So yeah, that was pretty much kind of you guys kind of have like an idea of what I did like DS-wise as a kid. And then the next console, I guess, we owned was the PS2. And the only game I really remember from that, there are two games, Tony Hawk and Spider-Man, but the PS2 was mostly a console that my brother played, so I didn't really play it a lot, and I was never really good at it. But the next console I really played was the Wii. And that one there's a lot more games that I really remember from that. We owned a variety of games over like a time. Like I said, we were trade and buy the used games kind of people, you know, get the most for our money. Because my brother and I generally had to buy our own games for the most part. But Cooking Mama was definitely one of them. Like I said, City Folk was the only Animal Crossing that I didn't own. But there was like the Super Mario game, Mario Party 8, that's one I still continue to have a lot of fun with. I bring friends over, we play it. Mario Party 8, not 9. Not 9. Nine's the one that I actually don't didn't know. And then what's the other one? There was Smash Brothers Brawl, which I think I thought I owned it as a kid, but then I think once I started playing, I don't think I did. But I think I knew someone who owned it or something like that. But yeah, um, that's what I've actually started really like getting into. I'm excited for the next one. Wii Music. There's like a wide variety. Wii Music is actually one that I friend had and then I got because it was a lot of fun. There's just like a huge plethora, and that was always a fun console as a kid. Like Wii Sports, I always had like, oh my god, I can actually do this. And I've actually, the one day I actually popped in Wii Sports for my Wii, and I just sat and played tennis forever. My arm, like I played tennis to the point where my arm was sore the next day. It was pretty bad, but yeah. And so I think that's pretty much the extent of like the Wii games. Like I said, we have a lot of them down there. I'm so bad at remembering what we actually have, or what we even like at some point owned. But we owned a lot of them. I guess at least at some point in time we owned a lot of them. Super Mario Galaxy, just the first one, not the other one, which is a game I'm kind of also determined to beat because everyone always talks about how easy it is, and so I'm like, okay, well then I need to get out there and I need to play it. Like I need to beat it, but. Yeah. And then my next handheld console, which many years later, because sometime around, I want to say it's probably around the time that I got like my DS and stuff, I actually kind of got out of video games, and it's a long story, but which it's like a story. It's a story for another vlog. But I kind of at the time it was like around 4th or 5th grade, and I was mostly trying to fit in, and that's not what the cool kids did. That's not what the popular kids did. And so that's kind of a thing that I fell out of, and I never really got back into until recently when I found LP videos and other people, and I kind of saw these games. I go, oh my god, this looks like so much fun. What have I been missing? Like clearly I've been missing something. And so I used the rest of the money I had from my old job, or I borrowed it from my dad, or yeah, I kind of borrowed that money from my dad and gave him the rest that was in that account because that's all. Again, another story for another vlog. And I got myself one of these. This is for those of you guys who aren't familiar, this is a Nintendo 3DS. First game I got is, I don't know if you guys can see, but is Animal Crossing New Leaf. Officially making me an owner of every Animal Crossing game except City Folk. I've got a couple games for my 3DS. It's kind of a library I'm still in the process of building. There is Kid Icarus and Luigi's Mansion are actually the only other two I actually own for that console. But I'm kind of determined to beat both of those before I get any other ones, and also Phantom Hourglass. I've been playing through that a little bit. I actually went on an 8-hour trip and pretty much got through a lot of it. And so that's another game I'm really determined to beat. My New Year's resolution is actually to finish a game, like to see the ending of a game. And I think that's probably gonna be that one, or Wind Waker, which we'll get to in a minute. And so, yeah, I kind of came in and I realized what I'd been missing, and how much fun this is. I've had a lot of fun with Animal Crossing. More so now, I think, now that I'm older and kind of understand it, I actually think I've had more fun with it, and I've kind of understood it more. Like, it's harder for me to go away. I know at some point, I know for a while, I guess somewhere around school starting, I kind of got out of it, and then Chugga Conroy actually started his LP of it, and I got back into it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna start school again. Like, I don't want to stop doing this. My daily routine, and I really started to, know my neighbors, that kind of thing. So, and last comes the last console to be bought. I got a Wii for Christmas with the new Super Mario Brothers U and Super Luigi U. I also bought Wind Waker and Earthbound for it. So, Earthbound, I've gone like a half hour into it. I'm not too terribly far, but I'm actually kind of been putting in a lot of time with Wind Waker. For those of you guys who've played it, I'm actually at the point where I'm collecting Triforce pieces. I'm not sure how long that is in the game, but yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed Wind Waker. I've actually had to use a couple guides for it, but I usually have a guide up on my computer because there'll be points where it's I have no idea what to do. Because I've never kind of really thought like that, but I'm getting kind of better. Seems to be going over kind of pretty well for the most part. So, that's that. That's an overview of my history. I'm sorry if this was a long vlog, but I do have a guest outro today, so take it away, guys.
Stay cool, guys. Stay cool.